then doctors, when they were evaluating them, were like, well, do you hear voices at night? And they're like, yes.
Yeah, all the
And
fucking nurses.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the doctor's like, oh, schizophrenia. And they're like, no, really, the nurses are keeping me up.
It's Nurse Janice who won't shut the fuck up about her son's ballet recital. I don't know. I lost it.
You got stuck. It's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, so because of the fact that they couldn't sleep and they were cold and not kept in good attire and like they were forced to bathe in ice cold water. They never heated it up. They were nutritionally deprived, whatever. She said she did witness several people who came in healthy become ill.
Yeah.
And a couple of those, she wondered, like, did that person die?
From, like neglect and poor treatment?
Yeah. So, I mean, there was that in the book, but,
there's no straight up, you murdered that guy.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Hollywood liberties.
Yes.
But her work sparked a grand jury inquiry of the asylum, which led to reforms.
Good.
Yes. After this, well, actually, when I finished the book, I'll throw this in here. Because after she did the 10 Days in a Madhouse, she also went undercover as well as like a different professions of working girl.
Okay.
So like she tried to work in box factories.
Okay.
And found that they were basically exploitation scams. Like,
oh yeah.
It was hard to get in, and then if you could get in, you had to work your ass off, and you didn't make that much money.
My great grandmother worked in a factory like that where she was working with machines and she had to take something out and then put something back in, like a pinion or something. I don't remember the details, but I do remember that her hand got stuck and she lost the tip of her finger.
She's lucky that's all.
Yes, she's extremely lucky because there are horror stories of those factories where people were sucked into machines and killed instantly. But she lost the tip of her finger. And so they made her go home because she lost the tip of her finger. And all of her father would say is he was upset that she didn't finish the day and didn't get a full pay.
Jesus.
Yeah. Apparently he was a real peach. But anyway, moving on.
He must have been. Well, this was like a box factory where like they literally were assembling boxes by hand and like gluing them down and whatnot. So it didn't seem like it was very dangerous, but it was just a lot of work, and they didn't get paid very well. Like the one place that she actually finally did get into, because most places wouldn't even let her, they had to do 2 weeks worth of work before they would get paid. And I don't mean like back pay. I mean, the first 2 weeks you're working for free, and if you work well, we'll agree to pay you in the future.
Yeah, that's total exploitation.
And she also tried to work as like a house girl.
Okay, like a house servant.
Yeah.
Housekeeper.
And basically she talked about how the agencies that were available at the time were total scams.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like the girls had to pay the agency for
of course,
the
everything.
Service of placement, but then you show up
and
you might not ever get sent to a house, like ever.
So that happened a lot with immigration, where they were coming over with the promise of being working as like an in-house servant, and then they would never get placed, but they had to pay, or they were brought over on somebody else's money, and so there was basically indentured servitude to pay off their...
Right. Yeah, so she did those two things as well after the thing. But after that, she was inspired by the Jules Verne novel Around the World in 80 Days.
Okay.
And so she decided she was going to try to complete the same feat in less time.
Oh, God.
Right? I didn't know about this.
I didn't either.
But yeah, so she began her journey on November 14th, 1889. Per Britannica.com, the New York World, which is that newspaper she was working for, amped up the hype around it and turned it into a contest to see who could correctly guess how long it would take Nellie to complete the journey.
Oh, okay.
That sounds really fun, actually.
It does, right?
There were over 1 million entries.
Dang.
Yeah, the winner would be awarded a trip to Europe.
Dude, I want to be in that.
Right. She completed the task in 72 days, 6 hours, 11 minutes, and 14 seconds.
Hell yes, Nellie Bly.
She was greeted by brass bands and fireworks and general hoopla.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. She wrote about it in her book Around the World in 72 Days in 1890. And there was even a board game that the world put together. I have a picture. So yeah, you can see it was printed in the world,
cool.
but it was like a board game based on her
cool.
trip. So I thought that was cool.
It kind of looks like Jumanji, so move on.
Play at your own risk, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. In 1895, she married a millionaire named Robert Seaman or Shaman.
What is it?
It's literally C-men, but so I don't
probably
know.
Shaman.
Could be Shaman. I don't know if it's Irish or not. It could be Seaman.
Really bad name.
It's unfortunate, but literally that's what it says. He died in 1903, and she was left in control of his business, which was a manufacturing company, and his assets. According to some, she managed those successfully, but other sources say that she returned to journalism due to financial hardship because she didn't manage them successfully. I didn't look too deeply into that. I just saw conflicting reports and said, okay, whatever, they're conflicting.
Right.
In any case, she did return to journalism to cover World War I and women's suffrage. Mm-hmm. She was still working as a journalist when she died, January 27th, 1922, of pneumonia. Oh. She was 52.
I was going to say she wasn't that old.
She was young. Yep. Yeah. And that is it.
That's fantastic.
That is Nellie Bly. All I knew about was the undercover asylum stuff. That's all I knew, too. I did not know about the
just
around
being
the world.
A badass in general?
Yeah, any of that. It was pretty fucking cool. But anyway, what I do remember is that she's essentially considered one of the, like...
first investigational journalists?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the mother of investigative journalism.
Right.
For women, at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very cool.
Good on you, Nellie Bly.
Right. That's all I got. So,
cool.
If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a review. Like, share, subscribe on any platform. You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook at Our Trivial Obsessions. We're on Instagram at Our Trivial Obsessions. We have a YouTube channel, Our Trivial Obsessions. You can find us on Twitter. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Twitter.
At Our Trivial Pod. We have a website, www.ourtrivialobsessions.com. That's where you can find all of our episode extras and references. Mm-hmm. And you can email us at randomqueensobsess@gmail.com. Random.
Because we are.
Queens.
Because we are.
Obsess.
Because we do.
So email us there with any topic requests you have for a future episode or anything you'd like to add or contribute to the discussion about a previous episode. Mm-hmm. All right, that's it. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.